So even if the pressure drops slightly, saturation stays high, and that means there's stable oxygen load in. And then the steep part of the slope is the oxygen load in zone. And we get something called the Bohr effect. What this explains or describes is probably a better word, is the changes in carbon dioxide concentration and pH and how they affect hemoglobin's affinity, so how much it wants to stick to the oxygen. So when the tissues produce more carbon dioxide and acid, it lowers the pH. So acid in the blood, carbon dioxide in the blood changes the pH, and it does make it acidic, a bit acidic. And when the tissues produce more CO2, essentially there's more acid around. The hemoglobin will release oxygen more easily because there's more CO2 to be removed. So hemoglobin's ability to bind to the oxygen depends on where it is in the body. So it depends on the environment. So CO2 concentration, hydrogen ion concentration. So that's how acidic it's getting, but that's caused by CO2, essentially, one of the reasons. And when it becomes more acidic, the oxygen, the hemoglobin's affinity for the oxygen will decrease. And you can see that the oxygen curve, the graph essentially will move to the right. So oxygen is released more easily in the body tissues. So the more CO2 it is, the more acidic it is, the more easily the oxygen is released. And then carbon dioxide will be picked up as well. And that makes more sense because it's more acidic and more CO2 in the tissues, which have been doing their job, but they've been using oxygen up for respiration. So that means they're going to need more oxygen. They're producing the CO2. So that just makes it easier for the hemoglobin to know when to get rid of the oxygen. And then you can see here the fetal hemoglobin and adult hemoglobin. Remember we said that it differs slightly and it's easier to bind to the oxygen. There's greater affinity to oxygen than the adult hemoglobin. So that's what that looks like on a curve as well.